episode of Meeting Virginia. Today I have David Pena from Atoka. He's a real estate agent in Loudoun County in Northern Virginia here in Leesburg. Gonna interview him, kind of pick his brain, see what makes him tick, and hopefully you guys enjoy the episode.
Yeah, cool, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, man. So what's the Meeting Virginia? Where does that come from?
So I tried to be clever.
Okay.
And there's a song by Train called Meet Virginia.
Okay.
And so I was like, Meeting Virginia. And
Meet Virginia.
no one ever got the reference, so I was like, guess it wasn't that clever.
But I have no idea who that guy is. So
Train is a great band. You gotta listen to Train at some point.
All right. Yeah. So
I usually try to kind of start off the interviews, I guess, from the beginning, so to speak. So if you want to tell me about, I guess, the day of your birth, how that went, and no, I'm just not saying.
Yeah, no, I remember. I actually remember those days.
I remember coming out of the womb.
Yep, I remember, and I was like, "Whoa, this is a great world." Amazing.
It's like Stewie Griffin from Family Guy. He just comes out and he's like, "How'd I get here?" No, but
hating his mother.
So, but I do want to say that I do want to ask. So you're a real estate agent now.
Yep.
First, I want to ask, how long have you been, I guess, practicing as a realtor?
So I've been doing it for 6 years.
Okay.
6 years, 1 month, and 3 days.
Okay. Is that like the exact? Oh,
6 years.
I was going to say, like, man, you've got an exact month and days down. That's impressive.
No, it's about 6 years and 2 months, something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You've been doing it for a while then.
Yeah, been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for over 4 years full time because I started as part time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess, how did you get into real estate? Like, what was the motivation to even get your license?
So, I've always been hungry for money. I've always wanted, I wanted to be rich.
Yeah.
And I was waiting. I used to be a waiter, and I was waiting on this lady, and she's like, "You will be a great real estate agent."
Yeah. She
She was just BSing me probably. So, and I started looking into it, and I was like, "Whoa, I could be. It's pretty easy, like."
Well,
you could, well, it's
easy to get into.
Easy, right? Easy to get into it and make so much money, or
I mean, I suck at it.
nah. But then I didn't realize that the same way I can make a lot of money, I can make nothing.
Yeah.
So that was a big motivation. I started getting into like personal development during that period of time, and people don't care about your goals. Like you care about your goals, but everybody wants you to help them. So there's a great quote of Zig Ziglar that says, "If you help enough people get what they want, you eventually will get what you want." So I devoted myself into personal development, like reading and becoming a better person and better professional. And that's how my goals have shifted a little bit. I mean, I still want to be rich, but it's more of, I want to help people. Like, because if I help as many people become homeowners, or especially homeowners, because I think it's a great way to start building wealth, and I think that's how they can help me get what I want to get.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a two-sided kind of, it's a win-win. You help them with their house, in exchange you get money.
Right, yeah.
Which is, there's this exhibit that reminded me of like Elon Musk. He had I'm gonna destroy the quote, so I'm not gonna say it's a quote. I'm just, I guess, paraphrasing it. But he had something where it's like, rich people are rich because they add value to the world. Something like that. It's not exactly what he said, but it's a similar concept, I guess. You're helping someone else get what they want in exchange. That's how you get.
Yeah, there was this morning I was reading I forgot this, I think it was Hemingway. I don't think that was him. It was somebody who he would wake up super early in the morning. He would go to the library and write 500 words a day. As soon as he was done with 500 words, he would take off and go fishing, whatever he wanted to do. But, if he was done by noon, he had the rest of the afternoon off.
Yeah.
And the basis of that is you get paid by value, not by time.
Yeah.
Like if it takes you 1 hour, like a painter, It's gonna make millions of dollars in stupid paint, but they can do it in 10 minutes because they've had the practice so much that they don't need a long time to do it. So and people wonder like, but you charging this much and it only took you 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I've practiced this same paint years and years to get to this.
You're paying for the results, not really the time it takes to get the job.
Exactly. So
yeah,
but yeah,
there's a dude on YouTube. I saw like one of his videos like a year ago or so, and he talks about he does consulting calls for people, for like business owners.
Okay.
And he said in the past he used to charge kind of like hourly. Mm-hmm. So I think he charged like $10,000, but he would do like a 3-hour call or something like that. And he stopped doing it. He would ask the people. He says, "Listen, I'm stretching out this phone call because it's supposed to be 3 hours. I can probably just tell you what you need in like 10 minutes and like just link you. Yeah, I can like tell you what you need and link you up with somebody I know who can just help you get this done if you can't do it yourself." And he was like, "Would you rather me like spend 3 hours or would you rather me like spend like 3 minutes so I can get it done in 3 minutes?" And he was like, pretty much everyone said 3 minutes because I want to get back to work. Right. I want to get back to what I was doing, and 3 hours is a huge chunk of my day.
Exactly.
And he compared to like a surgeon. He was like, if you have to go in for like a major surgery, and the surgeon says I can take like 10 minutes or I can take 10 hours, what would you prefer? It's like most people are like
10 minutes.
I'll pay you money.
It's like I'm making $100,000 an hour. Do you want me to? I'm sorry, I'm going to charge you $100,000 for the job. You want me to take 10 hours? You want me to take 10 minutes? Yeah. The price is going to be the same, and the result is going to be the same. So yeah, that's kind of going back to real estate. It's, you can, and people put their houses for sale, and usually they go with the person that is charging them less.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these people don't have the negotiation skills that we acquire as we become more experienced and all that. So people pay someone to, just because they're taking a discount, they ended up paying more because, they're trying to save $5,000, but overall they sell the house for under $25,000. Do you save money? That's kind of like,
you lost money to someone.
Right. Yeah. It's like, I went to the store and I saved, this was on sale. It's usually $1,000, but I bought it for $750. I saved $250. You saved $250, or you spent $750.
Yeah.
So
it's like see, you'll appreciate this because you're a real estate agent. It's like the FSBOs. Sometimes FSBOs like just want to sell their house by themselves, and it's like, dude, like you can sell by yourself. I'm just making up a random number. Right. This would never happen around here because it's very cheap. But this number I'm about to throw out is cheap. But like, say they would have sold for like $10,000. Again, there's no house around here that's like,
right.
As far as I know, if there is, let me know. But they wouldn't be like, yeah, I'm selling it, I want to sell it for like $10,000 or something like that. And you're like, dude, just use me. I want to pay commission. It's like, no, dude, listen, you'll get like 10,000 without me. You'll get like 100,000 with me.
Right.
But then what's like,
the return of investment is huge.
Yeah. Like we're talking about 6% of $100,000. I'm not going to do the math, but you'll get more in the long run with me than you will if you go by yourself. Trust me.
And a lot of times these people are, the thing is that they're willing to pay the other agent to bring them a buyer, and the buyer is usually going to be a good negotiator representing the buyers, and they're paying for the buyer to be represented, but they don't want to spend another portion of that to be represented. So it's kind of like,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's kind of like shooting in your foot. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, and I do want to kind of, I guess later on in the video, I do want to kind of ask you your overall real estate philosophy and like any tips you want to give to someone watching.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, because I do want to kind of like talk more about you, so people like watching.
I love talking about me.
Yeah. But I guess so. You were working at a restaurant.
Yep.
One of the, I guess, customers, lady, said that you'd be good at real estate, and then you kind of, did you immediately just jump into it, or did you like immediately start taking classes, or I guess what was the?
So this was around September or October. I remember it was like a Saturday night, and this lady said, "You'd be great in real estate." So I started looking into it, and I didn't find anything on Google that was kind of useful. Mm-hmm. So I called her the same week. I was like, "Hey, listen, I met you." Well, she knew exactly where it was. she's like, I want you to talk to my broker, because you know she wanted to recruit me.
Yeah.
So, and I went and talked to the broker, and the broker kind of gave me an overall, but they didn't really tell me like, oh yeah, this is how you get clients. So
no one ever does.
Right. So this was like in October 2013, and then a few months went by. Like in February, I bought the book. I was like, I'm gonna study by myself, and I'm gonna do great. And studying the book, no progress. I was like, spent $200 in the book. I was like, what a waste of money. I need to get in a classroom. So I was connected with an office that they were teaching.
Yeah.
Got into the classroom and took the classes. So I went there every day. Like, it was 60 hours, I think it is. It's pretty easy to get a real estate. Super easy.
Which is a good and bad thing. Like,
right.
The barrier of entry is low, which means everyone can get in.
Yeah. So I took the classes. Then I went and took the exam on a Friday. I passed one of it because it's 2 sections, right?
Like the state and
and national. So I passed one, and then I failed one. So I was like all depressed. I'm like, this sucks. So I came home and I studied like Sunday. I studied probably like 8 hours reading the stupid book. I was like, went back on Monday and passed it. And then this was in May. Then I joined the office, and that's how I got connected. And I was like, spending the money started going up, joining associations, buying cars. So, and I'm like, what the heck? When am I gonna start making money? So yeah, and that year it was in May. I think I sold 2 properties, which is pretty good. Like, that was pretty good. I got lucky. I got super lucky. And then the following year, I think I sold 2 properties too, but I was doing it part-time. So I was kind of like, I like it. Yeah, it's kind of cool, but I don't know when it's going to take off.
Yeah.
And then the following year, I don't remember how many I did, but I was like in the 2-year mark. And I'm the type of person, I told you that sometimes you're going to burn the ships. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? It's time for me to jump. I make it or I break it. So got into full time, and it was tough, man. It's still kind of tough, but not as it was back then.
When you went full time, what would you say, I guess, was the toughest part about it, or the toughest parts about it?
Well, making money.
Okay. Kind of like getting clients and
getting clients
and I don't know if you meant more like just because I know like me recently trying to do like the full-time biz thing.
Yeah.
There's a weird shift from you having to do certain things at certain times a day because the job requires it of you to suddenly it's like I got all day to do what I want.
Right.
And then at least for me it's just like, oh, let me just take a break. No. The break turns like 2 hours.
For me it was I always heard that it was you have to treat this business because it's like you can do things or you cannot do. I mean, you can be like, I don't want to do this interview, I'll do it. I'll do it later. You never do it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, if you want, real estate if you treat it as a career, it will treat you as a career. But if you treat it as a hobby, it will treat you as a hobby as well.
Yeah.
So you made the decision. So I was like, I went into the office for like a year, every day, even Sundays. And I was like,
straight hustling.
Dude, it was hard. But yeah, I was like, I gotta make it. I have nowhere to lay back, and I got nothing. I don't have a part-time that I have a check coming in.
Yeah.
So that's what I did in 2016, June 2016. So it's been 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess before real estate, what was your like? Did you have a sort of a long-term vision or goal of what you wanted? You said you wanted to be rich, but did you have like a specific thing in mind that you were thinking like, I want to do this and get rich? Or was it kind of just like in general, like, I want money? And then this was kind of the...
Yeah, I didn't really have... I mean, growing up, I wanted to be an attorney.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
That's
but it's super expensive.
Yeah.
It's crazy expensive. And then once I got into the real estate world, because you still want to have like, oh, maybe I should do this. It's the same. If you want clients, if you're an attorney, if you want clients, you have to market yourself. You have to be out there, and it's like, why would I?
This is like a shortcut almost.
Kind of, but and a lot of people are like, oh, you're just a real estate agent. But at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, there's goods and there's bad.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's so easy to get a real estate license, and everyone's cousin probably has one.
Yeah.
So, or neighbors or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is, as long as you're doing, if you start doing everything right, like you treat it as a career and business, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to serve my clients, and they're my priority, they're my number one. And if that's the case, man, you're set. But yeah, that was when I was little. I wanted to be an attorney, but that was it. I didn't pursue it or anything. So
yeah, I had a similar thing in college. I don't know if I ever told you that. I was trying to go to law school.
yeah, you kind of told me, but
Okay.
yeah, like barely.
I mean, yeah.
Most of the attorneys were unhappy, and you were like,
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty set on going to law school, and then before I got there, a lot of friends and stuff were just like, they were like, dude, my brother's an attorney, talk to him. And like, I had friends who like siblings were attorneys, and they were like, don't do it. I was like, why? They're like, dude, we work like all the time. And it's like, you get money, but they're like, some of us don't make that much money. Sometimes you get the money, but it's not like you get to spend it because you're grinding like 7 days a week, 6 days a week, so you're not really, what good is money if you can't spend it?
True.
So I heard a lot of horror stories, and it was a lot more horror stories than
good stories. Yeah.
But then real estate agent on the opposite end was like,
yeah, get in.
yeah, more people. It was weird because like more people were enthusiastic to be real estate agents, and then when they were in it, for the most part, they seemed pretty happy. I've met a few agents who I haven't really met any agents that are actually, I would say, unhappy. They're usually all pretty.
Well, usually if they're unhappy, they just do something else, and they keep the
Yeah.
license and tell people every once in a while.
Yeah. I did meet, I don't know if you ever had this experience, and if you did, I'm curious to like some stories. I did have one agent one time, back when I was, I guess, actively trying to be an agent.
Yeah.
I was doing an open house and I got arrested. And she comes in and she goes, she says, oh, are you new? So like when I first got, like, probably the first open house I ever did.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, are you new? And I was like, yeah, I just got my license, not that long ago. And she's like, well, good luck. You're probably not going to make any money for like a few years. And I was like,
okay, negative Nancy.
Yeah, it's like, all right. And she was like, do you have a girlfriend or anything? And I was like, no. She's like, are you married? And I was like, no. And she's like,
She was hitting on you, man.
well, she said that like when she first became an agent, the first few years she made no money, and she had to rely on her husband to like pay the bills and like basically support her.
That's why she didn't make any money.
Yeah. And I was like, what kind of thing? Like, why would you tell somebody this? I think she tried to like give me her card and recruit me too, but then it was just like,
she did.
yeah. But then it was just like, you gotta start off the conversation telling me I'm not gonna make any money because I don't have a spouse. That's
it's kind of like huge turnoff. It's like a lot of negativity.
yeah. So I've met a few agents like that. So they're not like unhappy. I mean, as far as I know, they're not like saying don't do it. They're just kind of like, if you don't have a husband or something or a wife,
You're not
making any money. And I was like,
No, I never had that experience. I don't know. Yeah, it would have been like, I don't know how I would have reacted.
it's like, what do you even say to this?
Okay, thanks. Is that an advice? Is that a warning? What is this?
Yeah, it's insane. But okay.
Yeah.
So you took the test. Technically, I mean
Twice.
Yeah. But you passed the first time and then passed the second.
Right. I think this is rigged, man. It's probably rigged so they can make more money.
Yeah. I think the test is honestly it's the worst test ever because they don't really like the questions are
so confusing.
They're so dumb.
Yeah.
They're just written away. It's like why would you ever have this? You would never have this situation in real life.
And everything you learn in school is you never use it.
You never use any of it. It's like, why do we learn this? Yeah, it's the that's school in general in a nutshell. I shouldn't say that. No, but
most of it, I can say that. Most of school.
All right, so as far as let's do a real estate tip, I guess.
All right.
First of all, I want to know, do you specialize in buyers or sellers, or are you?
I do a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start with the sellers because I feel like a lot of people kind of want to know more about how to sell their house, but then they get kind of like, I don't know what to do, and they try to Google stuff, and the stuff they Google, you're like, where do you get this information from? I guess what would be, besides hiring an agent,
Right.
what would be your biggest tip for someone if they're trying to sell their house and get top dollar?
Yeah. There's so many things, so it's hard to just say one thing.
Yeah.
I think you want to get the house the house. I know is the home that the people have been living. They have grown their kids in there, and it's like so much sentimental in it, value. So you gotta detach of the house and treat it as a product, because people are gonna come in and they're not gonna see it as a home. They're gonna see it as a product. Remove all the pictures that you have with all this pictures, family pictures.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to get really, really top dollar, you want to do some investment. Kitchen and bathrooms. Those are the selling points of the homes. Painting it. I mean, it's basic. If it's carpet, replacing the carpet. A lot of people, you get so much more. The return on investment on that is huge. Like Trump says, huge. So that's where the money's gonna be. If you're selling for top dollar, you do all this stuff, and then you put it in, make it look pretty on the outside. Curb appeal, because that's the first thing people are gonna see.
Yeah.
Power wash it. Clean it. Just keep it super clean, and then try to make it seem like nobody's living there.
Okay. So you're saying like, don't have all your boxes and like all your junk piled up.
No, put it in the garage or rent a storage unit.
Well, how would you rent a storage unit? It costs more money. Why can't you just put in the living room and have the buyers deal with it? I'm messing around.
Overlook. No.
It's like, overlook it.
It's overlook it. Well, I mean, that's when it comes to, hey, you want, I mean, right now in the market that it is, any house can get sold like that, because it's crazy.
Yeah.
But if you want to sell for top dollar in a matter of time, you want to have it looking as pretty as can. And then if you hire a great agent, they're gonna do professional photographies, like virtual tours, like Matterport and all that stuff, 3Ds and all this stuff. But then it's like you have to hire a good professional to do all that.
Yeah.
Because if you just hire somebody because it's charging you 1% or whatever, you're gonna get what you pay for. It's gonna be like, and then and it's just not that. See, the house is not like, oh, I put it in the market and now it's under contract, done. No, because then it's negotiation, price.
Yeah.
You know this. And then home inspection items.
Yeah.
They're gonna ask you for home inspection items. And then the appraisal comes in and it's like you have to sell it again to the appraisal. Hey, this house is actually worth
the contract
$500,000. You have to know the contract.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, home inspect buyers come in and say, I want you to fix all of this list, 10 items. The date, the contingency expired yesterday. Guess what? I'm going to tell my seller and be like, listen, they're asking for all these, but they don't have a contingency. I mean, if you want to be nice, you can say yes, but you don't have to. Because they can't walk away from the contract.
Yeah.
We're ready. Like, that's kind of like,
it's stuff that they wouldn't know.
Right.
You can't really Google that. You have to kind of be in it.
Right. And we see the contract. I mean, I see a freaking contract almost every week.
Yeah.
And they're changing it every 6 months. And we are doing those classes where the changes are coming, like, okay, this is the change. The main contract used to be 15 pages, now it's 13. So, they move some things around. So all of this stuff, which is, anybody can be like, well, I can learn that and I can sell my own house.
You can try.
It's like, you can try it, or it's kind of, there was one time, you got to know your value of time.
Yeah.
Is that how much is your time? Like, are you gonna mow your own grass, or do you pay somebody else to do it so you can spend time with your family, or do whatever you do for work and make more money? So it's kind of that's how I see it.
It's interesting that you say that too, because that makes perfect sense. I think the only problem is that I think most people do not value time.
their time.
I think in general people don't value time, so like all of that gets thrown out the window. That's just my philosophy, at least. I don't know if you have any like a similar, if you agree or not, but I don't know. Sometimes like I'll see someone, and I'm just like, dude, you make like, I'm just on a random, like you make like $80,000 a year. Why are you spending like hours doing this thing that you? Okay, good example actually with other real estate agents I've met. They need to pass out flyers, like flyers around their, I'm not going to call it what it actually is called in the real estate terminology, but the neighborhood that they tend to frequent when they go to market. Mm-hmm. And this agent makes like maybe over 6 figures. Okay. So then it's like, well, why don't you just pay like a child, or it's like your son or like someone else to do it for like $10 an hour. It'll take the kid like 2 hours, 3 hours. He's a kid. He's probably not gonna care. He's happy to get like money, especially if you make it worth his while, like $20. Yeah, you get whatever you want, but because hourly you make X amount, so like you're kind of losing money every time you sit there for 3 hours, and you're wasting energy too. You're wasting time and energy to do all that. But
I think on that, I have a little. I think if they're walking around, I think they also want to connect with the people that live in the neighborhood. I think that's a good way. Yeah. And you're in front of the prospects, so you're like, oh hey, what's up? Ah, hey, how's it going? You start conversation and building relationships. But if you're just going with the door hangers, putting them in every door, so you gotta leverage that. I think. We talked a little bit about cars earlier. Unless you, and I brought that up is because the value. Unless you're passionate about something, like gardening, like if you like mowing your grass, like it gives you relaxation, then do it. Yeah, but if not, it's like, if I don't know anything about cars, I like nothing. I'm probably like you, 10 times worse.
No, I doubt it.
So if something happens, I have no desire to open the hood and look, whatever. So I'm like, it sucks. I have to pay something, but I'm like, well, they're gonna do it in 15 minutes. What is going to take me 3 hours to do? Yeah. So.
And possibly, at least if you're me, possibly break it.
Right. Unless your passion is like, oh yeah, I gotta work in this project. Then it's like different. Then it's like, okay, you're doing it. It's your hobby. You like doing stuff like that. You like building things. Then I think that's a little different.
Yeah. No, I agree with that completely. Yeah. Okay, so that we got a seller tip in. How about a buyer tip? Just something that would be valuable to someone trying to buy their house, but something that they might not be super aware of, or maybe it's not common knowledge.
Yeah. I would say buy a house.
That's just the tip is buy a house.
Buy a house. Because I know Robert Kiyosaki says a house.
You.
And use me.
I shouldn't be advertising this guy because
you want to know. No, but it's true though. Like because Robert Kiyosaki says a house is a liability, right? Mm-hmm. He has a little bit of. I agree with him a little bit on the residence. If you live in a house, it's your primary residence. You're paying rent. You're paying a mortgage. Mm-hmm. That is not putting money in your pocket, right? But if you buy a second home, let's say for easy math, $300,000 home, right? You buy it with 5% down. That's $15,000, and hopefully the seller pays the closing costs. Let's say $15,000. You get a tenant in there. You rent it out for let's say easy math, $2,000, right? You get it for $2,000, and then let's say you want to make sure it's cash flow positive cash flow, which let's say you get $100, just basic, right?
100
after your mortgage, that's your profit. Okay. But let's say somebody's gonna say, well, David, what about the month that is vacant? Let's say it's vacant for a month. So you pay $2,000 plus the down payment is $15,000, right? That is $17,000. In a year, the house, you made one payment, $17,000 total. Somebody else paid was $2,000 times 12.
Like 24.
It's right? 28. I think, but you might be right.
2000. I'm not.
No, it's 24. You're right. 24. Minus 2,000 because you paid 2,000, right? So it's $22,000.
Yeah.
So now those $22,000, not all the money is going to go towards the mortgage. Let's say half of that goes to the mortgage. Let's say $10,000 goes to principal, right? You bought the house at $300,000. You paid $15,000, so the mortgage was $285,000. Now you have the $10,000 towards the principal. Now you only owe $275,000, right, on the mortgage.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit of this is what is called free money appreciation, right?
Yeah.
Let's say basic appreciation 3%. 3% of $300,000 home is $9,000.
Yeah.
So now your house is worth $3 of 9, and you only owe, how much do you owe? $275. So
you made money.
Boom! You've made money out of $17,000. That's the first year. Now imagine in 5 years.
Yeah.
10 years. It's like it makes total sense.
Yeah.
To buy houses, and a lot of millionaires have become millionaires because of real estate.
I think that's how most.
Yeah.
I think that's how most make their
millions
through real estate.
It's leveraging,
Yeah.
and yeah. I mean, people, but you're always gonna have those people who are like, yeah, but what if the tenant leaves? What if the tenants can pay?
Yeah.
Well, what if you die? We're not gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what if you break the somewhere? What if a drunk driver comes in and hits you?
Yeah. You gotta be realistic and plan accordingly.
Right. It's like you can, sure, all these things can happen, but I mean, if you just work to save, if you're making $50,000 a year, saving $10,000 a year, if you can, and just put it in a savings,
losing money.
right? What's appreciation? No, it's not appreciation when the dollar is losing value.
Oh, inflation.
Inflation. Okay, so inflation, right?
Yeah.
The government just printed a ton of money recently.
Yeah.
So now let's say you have a house that is worth $3,000 home, $3,000. You got a fixed rate for 30 years. You're paying $2,000, right? Well, appreciation is going to happen. $2,000 is not going to be as much as it is right now.
Yeah.
In 5 years, $2,000 is going to be
It's worth a lot.
$1,500.
Yeah.
So you paying a house, you're paying $2,000 a month on a discounted, which means the rent is going to go up because it's appreciation. What was the word? Sorry.
Inflation.
Inflation. Because inflation, the rent is going to go up. You're going to be making the payments of $2,000. Your payment is not going to change because it's a fixed rate. So it's like, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It is mind blowing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't, like, you got to buy. That's my advice. And I'm sure there are some, home inspection items and all those things. But at the end of the day, those are basic things. Like you buying a house, it's going to appreciate. It's going to appreciate. And dude, houses, you're in real estate. Look at houses 20 years ago. How much were they? Like in the 90s, 98, people buying houses at $150,000 in Loudoun County. Can you find $150,000?
Yeah, seriously, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of weird concepts in real estate, but in finance, period.
Yeah.
That I think people kind of get I think people just aren't aware of, so they can't take advantage of it, or they hear about it. And I'm sure there's gonna be people who heard appreciation who have never heard of it before, and they're gonna be it's probably gonna be a handful that are oh, this is interesting, this is awesome, I've heard of this. This is something learn more about this. And there's a lot of people who are appreciation, and they're gonna be no, don't care.
Right, no, and they're gonna say, well, what about the taxes? Taxes gonna go up.
Yeah.
Insurance gonna go up. Yeah. Well, if you're renting, your rent is gonna go up.
Yeah.
And you're not building any. You're doing anything. You're just renting.
Yeah. There's no equity in when you're renting. You're just spending money out of pocket.
Right. And so I just find that fascinating. I think everyone should own at least a house.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it because I'm in the business, but I'm saying it. If people want to help me, great, I'll help them. But if not, get in the real estate business. Yeah. Not in the real estate business. Get into real estate.
Yeah.
Because
somehow just.
I told a long time ago. I told a girl once. She's like, she asked me about my goals. I'm like, I want to own real estate and rent out. And she was like, so you want to fix toilets?
Toilets?
Right, because that's what they think.
She's thinking about the maintenance, probably.
Right, maintenance and
toilets.
We're right. If a toilet breaks, are they gonna call me? You know, a lot of people think like that. They're like, oh, well, if something breaks, they're gonna call you. It's like, they could call me, but then it's like it goes back to leveraging what we were talking earlier. How much is your time worth? Is your time worth going to one of your rental units and then fixing the toilet?
Yeah.
Or
do you want to hire someone else to do it?
I mean, if you like the stuff, go and do it. I don't like the stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my tip for buyers.
Okay, that's a good tip. That's a solid tip right there. See, I started out with just like buy a house, and then it went to like appreciation. Like, a lot of it. That was a solid. That's a good clip right there. And so speaking of taxes, now I'm thinking about kind of a discussion I had recently. I'm curious to know your thoughts.
Okay.
How do you feel about Jeff Bezos and I guess Amazon as a whole? I guess as a whole, and then him as far as him having so much money.
So the fact that they don't pay taxes, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's part of it. That was one of the things that me and some people were discussing recently.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I mean, I don't really like the guy because he's whatever. We're not gonna get into politics here, but yeah, I don't really like the guy. But I mean, he's super smart. I think this goes back to I mean, I wasn't trying to get into politics, but this goes back to people, the poor people, middle class, and rich people. Mm-hmm. This guy is a super rich man, right? He's crazy rich. He's like, dude, there's no way he could ever spend all his money.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Can you imagine?
I probably could. But, so then, the people over here, they all want the government. They want the government's handout. It's like, I want the government to get involved, raise the taxes to the rich, so we can make money, right?
Yeah.
So when the government is doing all these, because the people are asking for it, the rich people are getting educated on how to avoid taxes. The taxes, there are so many loopholes in taxes that these guys hire the best accountants and tax people. They're like, I want you to do my taxes, and I don't want to really pay the government any taxes. So then, who gets screwed? The middle class and the poor people. Because
it's really, I feel like the middle class kind of gets it.
Gets the most, I think. Yeah. So they raise the taxes to 35%. Where the rich people are going to be like, all right, let's see how we get out of here.
Yeah.
Or they take the business somewhere else where there is no taxes.
Yeah.
A country where there is no taxes. I think that's what I'm not familiar with what he does to avoid taxes, but
who's this?
Jeff Bezos, I think, doesn't he have?
Oh.
I'm not familiar with that, but then you have like Trump. What did he say when he was asked about the taxes? I'm smart.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of these dudes are crazy with like tax. Like one guy, I took this class from this one guy. He's a business guy, but he also has like a lot of like commercial real estate. Mm-hmm. And he blew my mind with this one thing that he does to like avoid taxes for some of his properties. And he says that like he has his business, and because on paper, to a good degree, a business looks like a person.
Right.
I think initially, before people were even like actually I think legally the persons referred to businesses before they even actually are referred to actual humans.
Yeah, probably.
And he was like, he has his business, and his business rents from his commercial property.
Is that Cardone?
It is Cardone, yeah. And he was saying like his business rents from his property.
Right.
He owns both.
Yeah. He
intentionally pays his rent late. His business pays its rent late to his real estate that he owns both.
Right.
So he gets to write off the loss on paper, and he also gets to write off like the
late paid penalties.
The penalties, but then the appreciation too of the the depreciation of the real estate.
Yeah.
So he doesn't pay any tax. I was like, this.
I've listened to his stuff, but that's what they do. And real estate is a great way to do that because if you have an investment property, you're gonna have it as a company, as an LLC.
Yeah.
Any maintenance that you do is tax deductible. And it's weird because this one I'm not 100% sure. You have to double check with an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
There is some type depreciation.
Yeah.
You get the house is gonna be worth more money, but you can tell the government my house is losing value.
Yeah.
And
then you.
And it works.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, that's the way the tax laws are written. The tax laws are written for people who to own houses and land, like real estate. That's the founder fathers. Dude, the founder fathers thought it was your right to own real estate, and that's why a lot of these laws are like favoring people who own real estate, land, farms, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fascinating. Dude, I love that subject. So.
No, yeah, it's one thing too. I guess before we kind of move on from taxes, so it turns like I mean I love talking about this stuff, but just so it turns like a tax video. One thing when I was like, I think kind of like post college, I was kind of still in college. I was on the campus, I'll put it that way.
Okay.
When I was reading about like taxes, because I used to be one of the people who like hated like the idea of taxes. I kind of to some extent.
Well, taxation stuff.
Taxation itself is like awful.
Stuff.
But I get the, I get like the. When I was kind of reading, I was like, I kind of get at least this is how I interpret it. Like the general idea of we write these kind of I don't call them loopholes so much, but these ways to write off taxes and get money back or not have to pay taxes, because it's an incentive for people to do whatever it is that they need to do to be eligible. So like if you buy real estate and you buy real estate instead of like getting taxed on the profit and you put the profit into more real estate, it's incentive. It's like you're going to be buying more stuff. You buying more stuff is money going into the economy. If no one were doing these things.
Well, it's so when you own a house, interest rates are tax deductible.
Yeah. Which people probably don't know.
Taxes are tax deductible.
Yeah.
And then
can you? I don't know. Can you deduct appreciation of a house?
If you live in it, no. If it's your primary residence, you don't.
Okay.
But if it's a rental, yes.
Okay.
And then if you ever do any repair, you can say, well, I spent $50 and it was for a new light bulb, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and here's one more thing I was gonna say. How what you were saying, the real estate. If you own a house, let's say you bought this house, you fixed it up, you rented it, you bought it $100,000. Now it's worth $200,000. Yeah, you made $100,000.
Yeah.
There is this called Exchange 1031. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
So the government is not going to tax that money as long as you put those $100,000 into another property. So it's like,
which is a win-win.
Yeah,
because you're not paying the tax, but you're kind of just getting more
real estate.
money.
Yeah, or it's like, okay, you can buy other two, whatever,
Yeah.
Dude, it's insane. So
yeah,
that's why people should own real estate.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's just it's a whole interesting game.
So
I guess playing with taxes and real estate.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
If you're watching this, look into it. Call Dave. I want to say call me, but don't. This is don't call him. But yeah, call him. He'll talk to you about that. I kind of want more about, I guess, you personally. Like, what are some of your, I guess, you're in real estate now.
Yeah.
So I want to say, like, first, what are some of your, I guess, overall business goals? And then what are some of your more personal goals, if you're willing to disclose any of those goals?
Yeah, no, I want to leave, I want to be super successful. Like, I want to help as many people as I can. I know that's very broad in real estate, but at the same time, I want to, if I die 60 years old, I want to die empty of regrets. I don't want to, I don't want to be like, man, I wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
Dude, I've done so many stupid things that I'm like, poof, that's pretty stupid. But that's better than saying, I think it's better than saying, man, I wish I would have done that. Man, I wish I would have asked that girl out. An example. I much rather be like, wow, that girl is kind of mean, but okay, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's my philosophy. Like, I want to live a life that I give it all. Like,
yeah,
I love taking chances. I like risk. I love doing things that make me uncomfortable. Like, kind of puts me out of the comfort zone. It's like,
yeah.
I started showering with cold water a couple of years ago, and dude, it's like, now it's not so bad because it's so hot outside. But in the winter,
Oh my
winter
god.
time, it's like everything. But it's just super.
It's like, why do I do this? This is
Right,
so cold.
but it's just, it just puts you out of the comfort zone. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, kind of gives you control of your mind. Your mind is a beautiful thing. That
Yeah.
you kind of dictate what you want to do, and it's like, I want to do this. I want to, dude. Negative people. Have you ever noticed that people who are super negative always have bad stuff happen to them?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'll let you finish. There's a story I got.
No, go for it. That was it.
When I was in college, so like, this isn't me being, I don't want this to sound mean. When I was in college, I kind of came to that conclusion. There was this lady I worked with in college at a gas station, and every single time she worked, something bad happened, and it wouldn't even be like minor things. It'd be like huge things that, like, to her defense, they were not her fault at all. Like, she had zero control over it. But it was so weird. It was like, dude, she literally attracts negativity. Like, two examples that come to mind real quick is one, she would always get yelled at for doing when you like. She'd get yelled at for things that were not her fault. Like, someone would pull up and the gas pump just wouldn't be working. And they'd come and just freak out. And it would literally be like, she would literally clock in, and 2 seconds after she clocks in, they'd come in. It was always her. It was never anyone else. It was always her. And it would throw me off. I'm like, dude, she has the worst luck. And it makes no sense. And there's like another time where I remember she clocked in, and we had this like big coffee machine. And then, we would use to brew the coffee and then pour it in the pots. And it broke. But it didn't just like kind of break and just did not work. It like blew up, and there's like water everywhere. Like, it just exploded, and literally it was literally like seconds after she clocked in. Like, I literally had my book bag, I was ready to leave because she was taking over for me, and I felt so bad for her because, like, I kid you not, that broke, and then a huge line of people came in at the exact same time, and I was like, I can't leave her to deal with this flood back here, plus all these people who are all like angry. And I'm sure it's gonna make her agitated because she just walked in. She has like 2 jobs, so it was just like a lot happening. But whenever I work with her, and I love her, she's awesome, like one-on-one. Like,
yeah,
she's nice. Yeah. But most of our conversations always somehow got to like some issue she had in her life and something she was like upset about. And in my head, I'm like, dude, she's so negative. Like, she's nice,
negative, yeah,
but she's negative.
Well, I read an article. I don't know. I think you know who Jordan B. Peterson is, right?
Yeah, I love him.
So yeah, I don't know if he said this or somebody else said it. People, they love drama.
Yeah.
We love drama. So when something bad happened to us, we're so excited. We don't think like, oh, yeah, no, but we are subconsciously
like drawn to it.
Want to tell people. And I want to, dude, I went running this morning and my leg pulled and now it's hurting and you're like, oh man, that sucks. Yeah, man. And I hope and then the next day I see you, man, I was running the other day and my shoulders, I have no idea what I was doing. It's like, or
a random dog in the woods came out and gnawed on my neck and I'm bleeding.
And you're talking about it, and that's just making it more. It's giving you a sense of joy. Like the dopamine, the brain is getting dopamine because you're talking about it. And once you're talking about it, guess what? More things like that happen. I know it sounds stupid and kind of like
it's so crazy,
but it's true.
Yeah.
Like if you, I think this is what Jordan Peterson said. Life is gonna give you what you tolerate.
Yeah.
If you say I don't freaking tolerate this, no more. Like. And it sounds. I don't know if he said it. Someone said it. It's not my idea. I'm not that smart. I am smart, but not that smart. It's it's like life is gonna give you what you tolerate. Like if you want a life full of drama and all that crap, life is gonna give you that. But the moment you are like, I don't tolerate this crap. Like something bad happens to you, you don't talk about it. You're like, what the heck? And you move on. You keep moving on, and then at some point, it's nothing's gonna happen. Like, yeah, everyone has problems. You can focus on the problems. You have problems. I have problems.
Yeah, it's impossible
We
not
could,
to have problems.
right. Do you want to focus on do you want me to tell you about how awful it is, like how hard real estate business is? Man, getting clients sucks. Oh yeah, I just had a settlement, and dude, these people were so excited to buy their first home, and boom. Like,
it's weird because like, I did this experiment kind of on Facebook. And
okay.
It's probably a really bad experiment. Like, probably makes me seem like a jerk, but I thought it was worth doing.
What was the experiment?
So I would just post on I would literally post on Facebook like positive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like 1 like, 2 likes. No comments ever. Like no one ever really comments or likes it. And it was interesting. I was like, man, I'm putting up stuff that like I'm hoping makes people feel better, which is what I would imagine a sane human being would want to feel good. And then you put up like something negative, like something you know is gonna like really piss people off. Everyone comments, and it's like so I know you see my post because you commented on it. You clearly saw it.
People are attracted to negativity.
It blows my mind because it's like one would think a sane human being if someone were to be like, hey, I got some bad news. If I tell you this bad news, it probably won't change your day. It'll make you angry, but it doesn't really affect you that much.
Right.
Most people, you would think people would be like, oh, if it doesn't affect me, I don't
want to know.
know about it. Like, just give me the good news.
And that's everybody. I mean, I'm not attracted to. It's like you want to you want to gossip.
Yeah.
But here's a fun thing. I think this is Brene Brown. You know who that is?
Brene Brown.
Brene Brown.
I don't think so.
Brene, maybe it's Brene Brown. She's written a bunch of books. It's she's like it's not a it's psychologist.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jordan Peterson, but so this lady has written like Daring Greatly, Braving in the Wild, or something like that. She's written a good books.
Yeah.
So she says about building relationships. If you're in a party, let's say you don't know anybody, but I meet you, and we know one person in common, and you don't like that person, and I don't like that person, we're immediately gonna bond.
Yeah.
Bond.
Yeah.
Because we hate that person, and we're gonna get like, it says we believe that we're gonna get so along well, and we're gonna be best friends, which is good. But the truth is that foundation it's not right. It's not lasting. It's like a table with 3 legs.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to the negativity. Like people, if both people are like going through hell, they're gonna be.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the quote that says? Misery loves company.
Misery loves company. Yeah.
So kind of like goes hand in hand. But yeah.
So I guess before we get ready to close out the video,
right.
Is there anything else that you want to kind of talk to the audience about, or anything else you want to share?
I was thinking, I started running about 5 years, maybe 6 years. I ran my first half marathon.
Okay.
And it was cool. I was like, I should have done the full one.
Yeah.
So 2 years later, I went for the full one. And then I was like, ooh, this is good. I need more challenge. And I started doing ultras. Now I've run 50 miles.
You run a lot.
I did 100 miles once. But I just want to say, you have to be doing things that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be pushing yourself. Not just sitting at home and watching TV, because I do that. It's easy. Like,
yeah.
But then there is a void when you do that, when you're not being useful. If you're not moving towards a goal, I'm not an expert on this, but I think a lot of depression and all this stuff comes into place. You're not working out. You have no goals. Like a proverb says, without vision, people perish. And I think that's so true, because if you don't have a vision, that's why you're gonna get fat. You don't know where you're going. You're just gonna go where life takes you.
Yeah.
And life is tough. And I think sometimes it's better to be in the driver's side and say, you know what? What just happened sucks, but I gotta move forward. If you don't, you just go into a hole and then you just stay there. I think And I think the best way to stay there, because life is going to be hard. You know who Goggins is.
Yeah.
So he's always talking about doing hard stuff because life is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
If you're doing the hard things, you're training yourself, your mind, you physically saying when something bad happens, you're like, oh, I've done worse.
Yeah.
Like I can come out of this.
You're kind of used to
it sucks, but I've done worse.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like a dog mentality. Like, okay, life is gonna be hard, but I don't care. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna run this marathon, or I'm gonna jump out of a plane, bungee jump, whatever. I'm gonna go hike. I don't know, Appalachian Trail, whatever. Things that not a lot of people are doing, and kind of along the lines is if you're doing hard things, you probably want to stay away from what everybody's doing, because if everybody's going, it's going
like a majority type.
The majority type. Like if everybody's going one place, and if you just going there, you're not thinking for yourself. Like you gotta stop and say, wait, where are these people going?
Yeah.
Does this align with my goal? Or no, it doesn't align with my goal. I'm gonna go. It's like getting gas. It's a simple thing, right?
Yeah.
The majority of people get gas in the afternoon, right? Afternoon, and there's a line, right? Go in the morning.
Yeah.
Do what and everybody goes grocery shopping on whatever time. Go and do what the majority is not doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
That's solid. That's and it's not that complicated. Like it's not that difficult to do.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good word for it. It has like a not weird, but
it's hard to go against the grind. It's hard to, because then it's like, well, I'm gonna look a little stupid. Why am I?
Yeah.
The masks, it's so politicalized now, right?
The mask. Oh, like the face. Like
the face mask. Right. You go to a supermarket and you now wearing a mask, you feel so weird.
Oh yeah.
It's like, and everybody's looking at you.
I mean, nowadays you might as well be a criminal.
Right.
People like record you.
Right. So it's like, okay, so, and I'm not saying don't wear a mask. I'm just saying that's an example, like how everybody's like, whoa, you're not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
You're not practicing 6 feet social distancing.
Yeah, so, someone's probably gonna watch this and be like, they're not 6 feet away.
This was before pandemic. This is before. So, what was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Shoot, I forgot. What I was going to say is Jordan Peterson. I love his advice. If you want to change the world, start by cleaning out your room.
Yeah, that's so true.
No one does. Yeah, no one does it though. So
yeah,
everybody wants to feel good about themselves. Everybody wants to get a Prius. Because I care about the environment and I just want to be like my neighbor, so my neighbor sees that I'm doing a good thing. But how is your room? And not just how is your room, how is your life? How is your house? Is your house in order?
Yeah.
Because if not, what are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be telling me how to live my life if your room is a mess.
Yeah. I think a weird part of that, I guess before we wrap up, that it was just interesting. I think a weird part of that is just, I don't know. I don't know if you agree on this. I feel like a lot of people, it's almost like virtue signaling. Like, people want
absolutely
other people to think that they're good. I guess good is probably the simplest way to describe it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, would you rather look good or would you rather be good?
Right.
Like, you don't need people to know if you're doing good things, helpful things.
Yeah, but we just want to be seen.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me holding a sign. Look at me. Look at me picking up the trash. Ooh, look at me. I'm on a mission trip, giving food to these little kids.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. Start by cleaning out your room. And all these things are good. I think you have to stand for something that you believe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, don't tell me or tell you, like, whoa, you have to, I don't know, wear a bigger shirt. Yeah, I'm just saying. Or you shouldn't be so, I happen to be a little cocky sometimes. So people are like, oh, you shouldn't be so cocky, you shouldn't be humble. But it's like, well, freaking clean out your room first. But yeah.
Show me your room.
Let me see your room.
Yeah. It's really random. It's kind of thinking about the virtue signaling and people like not clean their room.
Yeah.
There's a I forget what her name is. There's like this influencer. I think she's like an Instagram influencer, and people got real mad because I heard she went to like I think it was like Black Lives Matter, one of those riots, like the really bad riots, and it first started happening like immediately after George Floyd got shot.
Mm-hmm.
And she went, and there was like this cleanup thing happening. And she took a picture with the people doing the cleanup, and then got in the car and drove off. But someone caught her doing it. Someone was recording her getting out of the car. She went over to like the people, took a picture, and then walked back away. And they were like, she legitimately didn't even help. She just got out for the photo and then went back in the car. But then on like Instagram, she made it seem like
she was helping.
She was helping.
Right.
It's like you're like the worst kind of person. She didn't. At least if you take a picture, actually help. She took a picture, didn't even help.
At least pick up one trash and put it in.
Yeah, like at least one. She did nothing.
No, but yeah, everybody wants to feel good about themselves. What do you say? Signal virtue?
Yeah, virtue signaling.
Virtue signaling. Like, oh, look at me. I stand with you. But it's like, dude, this is just for show. You don't really believe that. You just
want other people.
Right. You just want. You just want to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
So.
It's the power of social media.
Yep. So yeah, this was fun, man. Thanks for having me over. This was so much fun. That was.
Oh, no
yeah.
problem. One more thing.
Yeah.
For the audience, where is the best place for them to reach out to you if they want to get a hold of you?
I would say that IG, Instagram or Facebook. David Pena 207 is Pena, Pena. So yeah, David Pena 207, and I follow you, so they can see I follow you. So yeah, follow me. I'll follow back.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah,
I appreciate you being on, man.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for watching Meet Virginia, guys. Until the next episode. See you guys later.
Peace.